What's going on, comic book community? Lomebox Love Affair here. I'm doing a top 10 sketch cover video today. So I went and looked through my stock of sketches. And for those of you that don't know, one of my favorite things to do in the hobby is to go to cons and to commission an artist to do a sketch for me. Something that is individualized just for me, based on a character that I love and an artist that I really appreciate. So I have a whole lot of slabs here. It was hard to whittle this down to 10. I tell you, I have so many favorites here, and it's revisiting all these books because it's impossible to display all these things, and it's impossible to look at them all the time. So I have 10 that I pulled that are my favorite of the batch, but favorite is subjective, and I could like something differently in a different way later down the road. So this is a point in time video, top 10. I do have a couple of honorable mentions, but I want to stress these are just a little bit of what I have. I will probably do a broader full sketch video in the future. I've done one in the past, a couple years ago maybe, and I think it's time to revisit that and show off the books that I picked up since then. But for the time being, today, top 10 books. But first, let's get into the honorable mentions that did not make the top 10 for a couple different reasons. Before I get into today's video, if you are new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you like what you see, and feel free to leave a comment down below. Let me know if you're a sketch collector, if you have any of these artists in your arsenal, or any of these characters, if anything you see is your favorite. So, all right, honorable mentions. The first one that's an honorable mention, you're probably going to kick me for this, is my Jim Lee sketch. This is X-Men 248. Is that correct? Yes, it is Jim Lee's first artwork on Uncanny X-Men, and it is a Wolverine remark. Why did this not make the list? I am a big Jim Lee fan. Anyone who watches my channel knows I can't stop myself from loving a Jim Lee. But I don't have a blank sketch cover from Jim Lee, and I was committed to picking my fuller size blank sketches or blank comic book covers that artists had drawn on, and you'll see those in a minute. So this is an existing comic book cover that he just placed his Wolverine on. I love the colors, how they bleed through on Wolverine's face. It's an awesome book. So this didn't make the list because it's not a blank cover. Jim's sketch covers, sketches on blank covers, the larger sketches, are wildly expensive these days, so I'm not sure I'm going to be biting the bullet anytime soon. Another honorable mention is this Tom Rainey Thanos sketch. I'm a big fan of Tom Rainey's. I wasn't originally when he first started drawing in the 90s, and his style has evolved and gotten more polished, as one does. And he was at Baltimore Comic-Con a while back. Gosh, when was this? 2018. So I had asked him to do a Havoc sketch years before and a sketchbook. He did a great job. And so I went with, when I started doing comic blank covers, I went to Tom Rainey and I said, can you do a Thanos? And I had ordered a full-size Thanos. Why is this not in the bunch? It is a head sketch of Thanos. It is a killer head sketch. It's not quite what I ordered, but at the end of the day, it's a beautiful sketch. I love this sketch. What I would love to do is get another commission from him with the Infinity Gauntlet on Thanos. I have another Adam Warlock that's full body with the Infinity Gauntlet, so I'd love to get a Thanos to add to that. I'm a big Tom Rainey fan, but still an honorable mention for today's purposes. We're in the top 10 now, so number 10 is this blank Miles Morales, done by none other than Splat, Stephen Platt. So I bought this on eBay. I got a great deal from the seller, who I think watches the channel, so thank you again. I posted this not too long ago, so this is a recent acquisition, but it harkens back to my 90s kid collecting. I graduated high school in 1997, so before then, I was a big collector. I got the Moon Knight 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. And that was when Stephen Platt came on the scene, and those books were hot. And he disappeared, I think, and then has come back into the limelight. So got this sketch for a great deal. It has Moon Knight vibes, and it is definitely Miles Morales. I'm not a Moon Knight collector per se, but I am a Miles Morales fan. I'm a Spider-Man fan, so this one fits the bill. Number 2. Next up is the Scarlet Spider sketch by none other than Ryan Stegman. Ryan Stegman became more popular with Venom. Now he's doing the X-Men titles. So this is when he was doing Scarlet Spider. This is from 2017. I picked this up from a facilitator that was selling it on eBay. Got it really cheap. I got it for like under $200, I think. I can't remember. This is back in the day of when I was doing early YouTube videos. And I bought this and an X23. X23? Yeah. And look at that. Color sketch. I don't think you get this much detail from Ryan anymore. This is before he catapulted and became more in demand. So excited to have this. This is number 9 on my ranking list. Number 8 is the CBCS slab. This might be my only CBCS on this video, but I have a bunch of slabs from them. But CGC is more predominant. But this Thanos sketch is by Nick Bradshaw. I am a big fan of Nick's. I missed out early when he was at a couple conventions and I never got a commission or I never got a sketch from him. I didn't have either the time, money, or energy. And it was before I was really heavy into commissioning. And so when I saw this on eBay several years ago in the height of the pandemic, I followed that auction and I pounced and I got this for fairly cheap. But look at that Thanos. Great color, great detail. It looks like a regular cover and I love that about this book. So I don't care about the grade, I care about the artwork. And this is a beautiful Thanos rendition. Full body. I mean, that's pretty amazing for any artist to get a full body sketch. A lot of artists revert to profiles or just busts. So to get the full body, I love it. I'm here for it. Number 7 is this Lee Weeks Gambit. I got this at Baltimore Comic-Con last year, 2023. I didn't go to Baltimore this year. Lee was there as well. He did this killer Gambit, and he did this on the last day. I had to ask if he had worked on it. I was pretty high on the list, yet it just didn't. He didn't get to it at that point. And I was worried he wasn't going to add the detail, given that he was going to be doing this in a quick amount of time. But look at this. The detail on this is beautiful. It is a highlight. I took this to the CGC booth, and they're like, ooh, we're going to photograph that. And they post it on social media or what have you. So they're always great about that. But yeah, Lee Weeks, Gambit. The grade sucks, 9.2, but I was surprised about that. The slab, there must have been something going on with the cover, but I didn't think it was a low grade. Well, it's not low grade, it's near mint still, but I didn't think it was a 9.2 blank cover. Anyway, again, it's all about the art, and look at that Lee Weeks sketch. Number 6 is no other than Neal Adams and the stunning Cyclops sketch. So Neal typically charged $500 to $1,000 depending on what you wanted. And at the time when I was starting to collect sketches, he was always doing them and it was really expensive. I had inquired about it a couple times, but I never bit the bullet. And it's sort of a, you should just jump on the opportunity when the moment happens, because then he passed away, unfortunately, several years ago. It's a couple of years ago, several years ago. And I was bummed because, well, obviously we lost an icon in the community, but I also had wanted to get a Cyclops sketch like this. There was one I saw online that was more of a profile and Cyclops just going crazy with those eye beams. And I asked about that, and to get that sketch, they said it was like $1,000, and I was like, "Ooh, I cannot afford that." And then this was on eBay after he passed away, and it was on auction, and I found it for a great price. I don't remember what I paid for it, but it was not $1,000, and it was not $500. I think it may be $450, something like that. But this is the sketch that got lost in the mail. The CGC sent it registered mail. It was stuck at the post office for 3 weeks. I had to go to the post office and ask them, and they had to go back and look and exert energy to actually find this for me. And I was super psyched when they did, because I was worried it was lost. Because it had come to me, and I sent it to get reholdered. So awesome. This is exactly what I wanted from Neal Adams. And although he has passed away, this is the book I found after he had passed. Cyclops, look at that beam. The next 5, the top 5, are a toss-up. Could have been any one of these books be number 1 in my mind. But I looked at it, and at a moment in time, right now, these are how they rank. Number 5 is Clayton Crane. So I picked this book up off of eBay a long time ago, and this is a sketch he did in 2015. Probably picked it up in 2018, somewhere around there. Probably paid around $300 or so. And to get a 2-character painted sketch from Clayton Crane, or anybody at this point, for that price is bonkers. And I've had people offer me money for this sketch. It is a favorite of mine. I realize it is a rarity. He does not do these things all that often. So to get that, Cable and Strife, and I love Strife. I mean, it's just sort of the Executioner song, the New Mutants stuff. I like that villain. Grown as you may, it's just, again, the formative years of my reading comic books. So to get that sketch, those two fighting, the brothers fighting, it was amazing. So this is number 5, easily could be number 1. Number 4, Shawn Chen, Dark Phoenix versus Wolverine. Amazing. This is amazing. So this is an amazing opportunity where I reached out to Shawn before Baltimore Comic-Con in 2018. And I said, hey, do you take commissions, and can I send you a blank cover if you do, so that you can do before the convention? In my mind, I think that's an amazing thing for artists. If they have the time and the energy to do sketches before a convention, that way they can sell more when they're there. They're not sketching this late at night or at the table. They have it done by the time they get there. And then you pick it up, and then they can take other commissions as they come at that convention. But then he has mine done. So that happened. I went on day 2 of the convention. He had this complete, and he was like, I'm wondering if you're going to come pick it up. He did this for $200. At that time, that was his price. It was like $100 a character. And I gave him a couple of options, and I was like, you know, what about Dark Phoenix and Wolverine, or Cyclops on this, and Cyclops Wolverine? I wanted a Wolverine because he does a lot of Wolverine. And this is pretty cool. So, and he blended that in. Look at the light on the X of the logo, because this was a blank cover. It just had the logo and this issue number. So he was able to draw that in, which I always marvel at artists when they do that. Draw on top of the logo and make it look natural, not painted or just drawn on. It looks produced. So this is a killer 2-character sketch. The one prior, Clayton Crane with 2 characters, and this, I mean, there's a reason that these are in my top 5, because 2 characters fighting it out on the cover, full body, that's hard to come by. And so this is why that is number 4. Number 3 is Ron Lim. I'm a huge fan of Ron Lim. I've wanted a Silver Surfer, Thanos, Adam Warlock sketch for a long, long time. And so the year before the pandemic, I was going up to Garden State Comic-Con, or some wording of that sort, up in New Jersey. And I saw he was going to be there. And I reached out to someone on a Facebook group I was in at the time. I'm not sure if it's still the same group that I'm in. And he was talking in previous posts about being connected to Ron Lim. And I sent him my blank covers. I sent him money, making a leap of faith there. But I got enough validation from other people in the group that he was legit. And I sent 2 covers, this and then an Adam Warlock. And he did both of them. And so this one is making my top 5. This is issue number 3. So this is Silver Surfer, Thanos fighting each other. I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, but there's like a blue line where he had probably done some prelims. And then you got the Infinity Gauntlet. You have Silver Surfer. Infinity Gauntlet is one of my favorites. It is when I started collecting crossovers in the early 90s. And I started with issue 6. So I was like, what the heck is this? I'm going to read issue 6. And then I had to collect the other ones because they were sold out. They were popular. And so it is a passion of mine, and I'm glad to get these 2 characters on the cover, on that blank, iconic in my mind. So this is number 3. Top 2, people. I wonder, for anyone who follows my channel regularly, if you can figure out which ones I've picked. So number 2 was hard. Number 1 and 2 were hard because they're both amazing. Hint, hint, hint. And number 2 is Ryan Atley. Ryan Atley, this Wolverine, he sold this on Whatnot, and I paid a lot of money for this book. But the detail, look at the detail of this Atley. The shading, the blood, it is polished. This is more polished than any con sketch he's done. And if you follow him on Instagram or anywhere, Whatnot, this is a polished sketch. He had posted a bunch of these on Instagram. He's really good at social media, I have to say. He posted a bunch of these, and I saw this and I was like, bingo, that is mine. I need that. And I was bidding against one other person and I won this. The other person, I think, typically wins everything. So I was like, I need this one. You don't need that. You have enough. So it's a 9/8, whatever. But it's a Wolverine for sure. And the coloring on that, look at that. So again, near full body character, action shot. It's like a Weapon X feral Wolverine. Ryan Atley at his best. Would I like an Invincible one? I have an Invincible head sketch. I have a Conquest bust. But this Wolverine is by far my favorite because of the coloring and the polish that we have that in there. So it's number 2. So which one did I pick for number 1? Like I said, any of the number 1 through 5s could have been my top. So which one did I get for number 1? Number 1 is Art Adams. Art Adams, Silver Surfer. I have always loved Art Adams. I remember collecting comics in the early days when I was just getting introduced to them, and my uncle was buying the X-Men Classic, and I remember those covers being really formative in my mind and in my understanding of X-Men lore. I know he didn't do the interiors per se, but then there was Long Shot and the annuals, X-Men Annual 14 and things like that. So, and I had never been to a con where he was. Well, actually, I was in Denver in like 2017 or 2018, and I got in line, and he wasn't taking any commissions. And I got a signature or two, but I was bummed. And so lately he's been at cons getting the commission. So it was at Baltimore 2 years ago, and I asked for a Galactus, and he didn't do it. He had too many people on his list. And then last year he was in DC at Awesome Con, and I was first on his list. He was my number 1 artist to get that convention. And I said, would you do Galactus? And this time the facilitators talked to me about it. They're like, he probably won't do that. It's a lot of detail. I was like, well, let me pick something else. I just, on top of my mind, I was like, I love the Cosmic. So what about Silver Surfer? Because I didn't want him to do a typical X-Men book. I had a bunch of X-Men simpler sketches coming back from CGC that I've showed in other videos. So I did the facilitated sketch opportunity last year and had a bunch of simpler sketches done. He did a Wolverine, a Thanos, what have you. So I said Silver Surfer, but then I was like, Silver Surfer is just plain. Like, is it gonna be any good? So I was worried. I was really worried. And then on day 2 or 3 of the con, I went back and he had it done, and he did this. And this is amazing. It is one of my favorites, if not my favorite, number 1 in my collection. Like I said, these are all my children. So look at the detail on Norrin Rad there. In fact, he's used this image for some other publicity, some other sketch opportunities that he's been doing. But to get this detail, and then, so I paid $500 for this. And I think it's worth every penny. It's a great investment for me. It is a passion. Art Adams, a seminal artist in comic book lore, in comic book world. So, it looks so great with that blue Fantastic Four logo. He's got the black background of the sky. I had no idea what he was going to do, but he ran with this, and I cannot say enough about it. I was a little dumbfounded when I picked it up, but I was like, this is great. This is great. I had no idea what to expect. So, definition, the musculature of it all, it's great. So this is my number 1, but I love them all. So I will do another video showing some of those favorites, or when I have all of them in one place, showing off all the sketches. You can probably search through my feed and find ones that are interesting to you that I talk about in the title of the video, that this is a sketch cover or a commission that I found. So check those out. But for the time being, this is my top 10 plus a couple honorable mentions, and that's my story. And I hope you enjoyed the little memory lane and the reasons why I love these books. And I thought a top 10 video would be fun. So again, if you're new to my channel, you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up, comment down below. I'm not posting a whole lot anymore. I need to get, I keep on saying this, I need to get back in the saddle, but I just haven't been buying the massive amounts that would merit a video. When I have unboxings for CGC, which I have just a shipment come in today, I'll do a video. So I'll try to post that, but I don't inundate your feed if that's what you're worried about. But feel free to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.